Hey y'all, it's Kim from Kim Dixon Creative, and I'm here on the Not Too Shabby channel today sharing a final project from the February box of the month. I am using the Blooming into Spring stamp set, some ink on 3 embossing ink, some purple cardstock from my stash. I also have a really old jar of Brutus Monroe's fairy dust embossing powders, and that's what I'm going to use today. I'm going to emboss that bunny on the front of an A2 card using that purple cardstock that I have from my stash. I've so enjoyed using this box of the month this month, and I know that you will too. You need to head on over to the shop and subscribe to the box of the month so that you know you get one every month. I'm fairly certain that the box of the month is sold out for the month, but head on over there and check it out. Maybe there's some left. I think there may be some stamp sets that I'm using that are available outside of the kit. But you know, head on over and check it out. Subscribe, you won't be sorry. So I've taken a piece of that purple cardstock and I've cut it down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm going to stamp this bunny right in the center of this card. And I'm going to use that sticky ink from Ink on 3. Get my little bunny centered up there and onto the door of my Misty. Going to use my little powder tool and treat my cardstock there so that I can help minimize some of the stray embossing powder. My Ink on 3 sticky ink pad is new, so it's good and juicy and it works really well. Any sticky ink will do. Versamark will work fine. I have that too. It's just the Ink on 3 was the closest to me. And I'm going to end up stamping this a couple of times to get a really good impression. And use my little stamping tool there, my pressure tool that I made, to make sure that I'm getting good even pressure on it. I have a hard time with those flowers there in the center getting, I don't think I ink it up well when I'm getting it ready. So that's the reason I like to use my Misty, so that I have more than one opportunity to get that stamp right. And I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to get my little coffee filter and my embossing powder. You're not going to really be able to see a difference when I melt this embossing powder on the screen, but I can tell you in person it sparkles, and that's really the only difference. Otherwise it looks kind of like a just like you've used the watermark ink, but I'm making sure I'm getting it covered good and bump off the extra. I have a little brush that I use sometimes if I think I've got stray powder anywhere. I'm going to clean that, put that embossing powder away before I make a bigger mess than I normally do. I have a tendency to get embossing powder everywhere, and so I just take my little microfiber towel and run it over my mat, and I've got my heat tool heating up. The longer it heats up before you actually put it to the paper, the better. I'm gonna get that melted. I do get warping, but I will end up getting that fixed. It won't be an issue at the end. So as you can see, it really just looks like it did before I put any embossing powder on there on the screen. But if you get it in the light and in person, you can see the sparkle from that fairy dust. I'm in love with that bunny. She's so beautiful. I just love her so. So I'm going to cut down my panel with some dies, and I've also used a piece of paper from one of the paper packs in the kit this month and cut down a panel. I am currently, you see me cutting down some fun foam. I want to pop up one of the panels, and so I'm using the fun foam to do that. It's a little less expensive than foam tape, and it is, well, it's a lot less expensive than foam tape. And it gives you even coverage of the foam all across the back of your card base. So I'm going to just glue that onto the back of my little purple card base. Sorry you're hearing the jingling in the background. My puppy is over here trying to scratch her a perfect spot to sleep. But I'm just going to hold that down and try to flatten that panel out a little bit. It is, like I say, it's warped a bit. Then I'm going to adhere that down to this piece of cardstock that came in one of the paper packs that came in the kit this month. I'm going to try to get that as centered as I can. I'm just so not good at that, but I try. I'm going to just hold that down really well so it's getting a little bit flatter every time I adhere it down. Now I'm going to stamp my sentiment. I'm going to pick my sentiment first. I wasn't sure which one I wanted to use, and sometimes the easiest way to figure that is just to take your stamp set, especially with these clear stamp sets, and just hold it in different places across your card until you pick out the one you like. And I chose Happy Spring, and I'm going to use this purple VersaFine Clair ink. I can't remember the name of it. I will have it listed in the description box below, but it's a deep purple ink, and I think the name of it is Monarch. And I'm just going to stamp that little sentiment strip out and have it say Happy Spring. Now I'm going to get my trimmer out, my paper trimmer, and just trim that little strip down to just a very, I didn't measure it, I just kind of eyeballed it to get it as close as I could. Using my Cricut trimmer today. I usually use my Dress My Craft trimmer, but I was recently doing some organization and cutting some magnet sheets, and I wore my poor little blade down on my Dress My Craft. So I've got a new blade on order, and we'll have it back in good working order here soon. I'm just going to banner both of the ends of this little sentiment strip. Just cut a little slit in the center, and then go from each corner up into that point to make it into a little banner edge on each end. And I'm going to just adhere that down flat to my card front. And now I've decided that I don't have enough sparkle, so I'm going to put some of the sequins on the front of the card that came in the kit. These sequins are so pretty, and I've so enjoyed using them. I am also enjoying my little sequin tray that came in the kit. Both are by Cat Scrappiness, and they were in our February kit of the month. And just gonna scatter 5 different sized sequins down the front of my card. And I'm using just a wax pencil today to pick up my sequins. My Marvy Jewel Picker is just about worn out. I've worn the tips of it off. I've got to get another one ordered here. But that little wax pencil's not working terribly. and I'm not sticking it down so hard that I'm making a mark on the front of my sequins. You see how handy that little tray is. It is so nice. When you get done, you can just easily dump those back into the baggie that they came in. And so now I'm going to adhere my card front down to an A2 top folding portrait card base. It is just cut out of some white accent opaque cardstock. Nothing fancy, just a good heavy cardstock. It's going to leave just a small border around the edge. And again, I had some warping on my card front, so I'm having to be pretty particular going around the edges to get that to adhere down like I want it to. But I do. It just takes a little work. Nothing worth having is, not worth the little bit of work. And there's my card for this video. I think she turned out so pretty. Hopefully you can see that sparkle a little bit. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the video today. If you're not subscribed to the Not2Shabby channel, please do so. We have great content here. But thanks again for watching and stopping by. Till next time, bye.